are always supposed to go wrong. Life would not be life if everything happened exactly like you wanted and exactly like you imagined. And this leads to like conflict and problems in people's minds when they start learning about stuff like manifestation, because they're like, oh my gosh, I started putting out this energy, I started learning about manifestation, I started manifesting, and then everything went wrong. And it's like, good, that's what's supposed to happen, that's part of the process. um, so that's why I wanted to just hop on here and do a quick video to talk about why things are actually supposed to go wrong and why that's a sign that you're doing the right thing. Um, and this is funny because I've had it happen in my life, and it's also happened in the lives of people that I've coached or friends. And if you read any person who's successful, their autobiography, you'll notice that before they became really successful, things went really, really wrong and really, really bad. Like if they wanted to do good in their relationships, things went awful or terrible. If they wanted to make tons of money, literally like they would go destitute or bankrupt or something like that. Things would be absolutely terrible. And for the average person, when things seem to go wrong, they freak out. Like, oh my gosh, the 3D is 3D. No, 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 no. That's what it's supposed to do. Things are supposed to seem bad because it's an essential to the process of change and transformation and truly becoming somebody new. Now, the cool thing about me getting the opportunity to talk about coaching for stuff like manifestation or teaching these principles is that I write. I'm a writer. I write fiction. On top of doing all this stuff, I've written a lot of stuff. You're so beautiful, Mama. I've written a lot of stuff. And when you write fiction, one of the things that you do is you study how to craft like a fulfilling story, a good story. And one of the things that's core for good stories is conflict. And it has to do with how we reveal character, which is a pretty interesting thing. Because like when you have a oh, hey Carla, what's up? Welcome. It's going pretty good. It's a nice, wonderful Saturday. Just finished Sabbath, so now coming on here and doing some work, talking to you guys about why things are actually supposed to go wrong when you're manifesting. So, interesting thing. When you have a character, if you're reading a story, the character is supposed to show who they are. You don't have characters talk about who they are and what they do and like their problems, because if they do, it's like really bad. The way that you reveal character well in stories, like stories that you really like, character is revealed through number one, relationships, and number two, conflict. People have to come into conflict with what's up, Kaden? People have to come into conflict with what they desire or something going wrong, and how they respond to those things is what reveals their character. One of the things that was funny was I was sitting out on the grass with Sophia and Stephanie, so we're all just enjoying ourselves. What's up? What's up, Darla? We're all sitting on the grass, loving and enjoying the backyard, listening to the birds. What's up, everybody? We're all listening to the birds, and Sophia bought a whole bunch of toys. She loves Bluey, so she has a whole bunch of like little... She's saying hi, everybody. She has a whole bunch of Bluey toys. Hey, well, I'm so glad you subscribed. Welcome. She has a whole bunch of Bluey toys, and she's picking them up and showing them to me. And one of the things I asked her before is like, who's this? Like, who's this? Who's this character? Who's this Bluey character? Who's this character? And one of the other questions that I asked her with who's this, she would say the character's name. It's like, oh, that's Bluey. And one of the things that she would answer right after is, what are they doing? Which is usually like looking at me. Oh yeah, she has bingo. She has plenty of bingos. She's got like stuffed bingos, little plastic action figure bingos, a whole bunch of different ones. So we're playing around with the characters, and she's like, oh, I'm like, what are they doing? She's looking at me, and then I'm looking at the characters, and I'm like, Who's Rusty? Who's Rusty? Does Rusty know? Rusty is, and we were going through the actual character. And when we were going through the character, we understood who the characters were when we were relating them to other characters. This is Snickers. Snickers is Bingo and Bluey's friend. Hey, this is Rusty. Rusty is Bingo's friend. Hey, look, this is Lucky. Lucky is Bingo's neighbor. And then the thing that lets us know who a character is and how a character is different is the relationship to other characters. Hey, what's up? What's up, Alex?
It's Coco.
Yeah, you saw Coco too, right?
Yeah.
And what I realized was, number one, we understand and we learn more about a character because of their relationship to other characters. And then, of course, conflict. Oh, thank you for bringing me Bandit. I'm playing with these little buddies. Go show mommy. We were talking about characters from a kid show called Bluey. It's an Australian show that's on Disney Plus. That's absolutely amazing. Parents love it. Bluey is amazing. It's a really well-written show about a blue dog and her family. Her little sister Bingo, and her mom and dad Chili and Bandit, and all the adventures that they go on. And it's a beautiful, lovely story. Oh, I was talking about, did I start talking about Thomas Shelby? Did I start talking about Thomas Shelby? I don't think I started talking about Thomas Shelby. So, yeah, I was like, that is a big jump. It's like, so Bluey, now Thomas Shelby, tell me. So, character is revealed with two things, relationships and conflict. That's where character is revealed from. Now, we know who a character is because of how they relate to other people and how other people act and treat them and how that person responds to conflict or problems. So the interesting thing that's actually happening when people go through the process of change and transformation, which is actually what happens in stories. Stories are they're records of transformation of a protagonist, like a good story. A good story is where you watch somebody who has a fundamental problem in their identity, and you watch them change that over the course of the story. Because a good story is supposed to show change of a character over time. They fight, they get into conflicts, and the conflict is what causes them to develop into the person that can have what they ultimately want and what they desire. And you have many changes and transformations that happen in the form of TV shows. And then for movies and novels are much bigger transformations that happen for the character. And that's why I love studying comparative mythology with people like Joseph Campbell, because Joseph Campbell studied all of these stories from these myths, these fables from all of these different cultures that were completely disconnected, and he ended up finding out that there were commonalities between all of these different stories, and he distilled the commonalities between all of these completely disconnected stories into what he referred to as the monomyth, which was an archetypal story or archetypal steps that really big myths and stories follow in all of these different cultures, regardless of whether or not these cultures had intersected or connected. Because usually it would make sense that these cultures would have the same story if they shared the stories, if they shared these religions and beliefs. But these were stories and beliefs that were shared across cultures that never had any contact with each other, which showed that these were core archetypal stories that are archetypes for how we are as people, the equipment for our own living. So when people are in the process of starting to manifest something, there's something that's very interesting in the monomyth that happens. And it's this cycle, of course, trials and tribulations, which is where you have all of these different things that go wrong, things that need to be overcome. And near the bottom of the monomyth, of the story circle, you have the death and revival. It's a portion of the story where the character dies. For somebody to change, there has to be a metaphorical death. And sometimes in some stories, it's a literal death. I'm making fun of Moana 2 because Moana 2 was kind of garbage. But it's something that they did in Moana too. They do it in a whole bunch of other stories that a character is supposed to actually die on their quest. Who they were before is ultimately what dies. It's supposed to be a symbol or a metaphor for the old person dying and for them becoming reborn into a new person. And the only way that they're able to die is the act of coming into conflict, and it's a conflict that's so difficult that their old personality, their old identity cannot handle the change, the transformation. The only thing that can handle the change, the transformation is that they have to become somebody new. So that's part of the reason why I like Thomas Shelby, and Bluey and all these other characters. We like them because we watch them break down. We watch them fail. We watch them mess up. We watch them go against things and really struggle. Kid. And in the process of going through that, we realize that they change. They become somebody new. They're reborn like a phoenix. And in the act of doing that, they're able to get what it is that they truly want, what they wanted in the beginning of the story. Yeah, Bluey's awesome. I love Bluey. Oh, what's up, neighbor? Yeah. Yeah. What was I gonna say? You're so adorable, baby. So, when people are in the process of manifesting something new in their lives, what they end up struggling with, and what I've struggled with, and anybody who comes to me either on the videos or on or the people who come to me for coaching, is what they want, what they don't realize in the first conversations we have is what they want is not to have another person. What they truly want is to actually become somebody new. So when people ask about specific persons, the specific person that they actually want is a new version of themselves. Which is why I never worry about when people say like, oh, my specific person said they would never want to be with me again. Yeah, they're correct. They don't want to be with that version of you. Whoever the version of you was that they broke up with, or you broke up with them, that's what they're tired of. And by going through things that are tough or difficult, you no longer are the same person. You can be confronted by the same people in the same situations, and your response will be different. And that's an indication that you change, and an indication that you're different. And without fail, whenever anybody comes to me and they're in the process of trying to build something new, like big, like they're trying to make the biggest leap in their income that they've ever had before, or they're trying to have a loving, caring relationship that was so much more passionate and caring and sweet than anything else that they've ever experienced in their lives. Regardless of what that is, their current personality, their current identity cannot support that. They believe what they want is something outside of themselves, like in stories, the MacGuffin. But that's not the case. What they want is they want to become somebody new. If they want a more passionate relationship, they have to become a more passionate person. They have to exude that passion. If they want to experience love, they have to become loving without having anybody else around them. You're silly, Mama. And the only way for people to change and become that new person is that stuff has to go wrong. Like, there are so many times where people have come to me and said that they want to make more money, and as soon as they start doing the processes, something changes. And a lot of the times it's something that seems to be bad regarding what they're doing for money right now. And that's required because their current, if they could make more money doing, if they could make more money doing exactly what they've been doing in the past, then they wouldn't need to, nothing would need to change. They would just be making more money. But the fact that they want and desire to make more money means that they need to do something different. And to get to the point where they can do something different, something about their current process has to go wrong. So there are tons of people who start manifesting and start desiring to make more money. And if they are serious about it and put a lot of energy in it, there are tons of times where people end up having to quit their jobs, or something absolutely terrible happens at the job, or they they get fired. That's happened too. And then people freak out. They're like, oh my gosh, I was manifesting more money. Oh, this is terrible. I can't believe this. It's like, no. You said you wanted to make more, and now things are changing. You have to change along with the circumstances so that you can get what you want. You cannot do the same things and expect a different result. You have to do different things, which means that stuff has to fall apart. Things have to go wrong for that to happen. When people really want stuff to be great in their relationship, stuff goes wrong. People get angry. People get mad. People stuff goes crazy. And they'll get confronted with situations that are difficult. And the reason why the difficult situations come up is because those are opportunities for the person, for yourself, to show you and everybody else around you that you are different. There's so many different times where I've talked to people and I coach them, and the biggest thing that happens to them is that they get confronted with something that seems like a bad situation, and they get to look at it and they're like, I would have never responded like I am right now. Like, usually if something like this, I was having a conversation with Steffi, one of my coaching clients, and something was happening with her relationship because she wanted more loving, more caring. Yeah, baby. She wanted this, and stuff was starting to break down in a relationship. And instead of crying and blaming herself and going crazy and wild, she was level-headed. She was like, no, what I deserve is to be loved. What I deserve is to be cared for. And if he's unwilling to do that, then I'm done. I'm not going to accept that. And it was such a profound difference for her, because she would usually break down, cry, freak out, and ask people like, whoa, what did I do? What did I do wrong? That her friends were mentioning it. Like, when she was talking to her friends were like, wow, this is different. You would usually be like devastated and not able to do anything. And it's like, yeah, because you are proving to yourself and to others, the people that you have relationships with, that you're not the same person. And the way that you end up moving into your ideal relationship is that you maintain being that different person long enough for your new ideal partner to find you. Because you can't be a better person. You can't be a more loving, caring person and be in a relationship with somebody who isn't loving and caring. They'll feel guilty, they'll get angry, they'll get mad, and either you decide to cut things off or they'll decide to cut things off. You're incompatible. You can't be around each other. You can't be together. And things have to go wrong for you to realize that you're somebody different, because it gives you the opportunity to reveal your character. And then after that stuff happens, you have a new story that proves to yourself, to your conscious mind, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am no longer the same person, because I wouldn't have been able to do what I did back then.
We'll play some music together in the shower. Sounds good.
I'm not the same, even for me, I'm not the same person that I was last year. I'm not the same. It's 2025. I started my business back in 2019. I am not the same person that I was when I started my business. The old versions of me had to die. And every time that I decided that I wanted to make more money, you best believe I went through trials and tribulations and things went wrong. There are times where I lost everything. but it was required and necessary for me to change my business, to change myself, to act different in my relationship, to become a better partner, to become a better father. Things had to go wrong. Things had to be bad. And I had to confront situations that I'd been in before and act different. I had to learn how to forgive. I had to learn to be more loving and caring. I had to learn to be resilient and disciplined, and to be determined, especially with the things that I desired and things that I wanted. And if you desire to be a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, a millionaire, whatever that happens to be, you have to decide that you want to be that identity. And once you say that you want to be that, you are going to be confronted with trials and tribulations that will transform you into the person. Because the journey is not about the destination, it's about who you become along the way on the adventure. The treasure of the journey is who you have to become to complete it. And when you're able to confront negative circumstances and understand, oh, this is where the change happens. This is where I'm supposed to move. I'm supposed to move into it. I'm supposed to lean into it. And I'm going to act differently. And that's it, period. I'm not going to go back. I'm going to be a different person. When you think like that and you act like that, you're able to extract value out of situations that seem dark and bleak. And if you're able to do that, you get to enjoy wonderful things. Like I get to enjoy my little family sitting over there looking at books together. Mom is reading baby books. It's cute. Life is much better at the other side of obstacles and things going wrong. You become better, and you get to sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And boy, are those fruits sweet.
My mom's in the life.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Hi, Margarita. I got your message. I'll let you back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm glad your cousin likes Blue's Clues. Hey, does anybody have any questions, comments, or observations? Appreciate the thanks on the beard. Had to trim it down. Beards are really good. They really do help with like grounding and relaxing.
Aww.
What'd you say?
Said the sun is happy.
The sun is happy.
It's so funny. So that's on
Yeah. I was talking on the Sabbath. Sabbath was good. The reason why I'm doing a live is because I went through the Sabbath. I was able to relax, rest, spend time with my family, and then I get the itch to do stuff. I get the itch. I'm like, I gotta make stuff. I already just made a short, and now I'm shooting this live. And I spent time writing, and I feel like I want to write and do more. So it's a real good, the practicing the Sabbath is probably one of the most powerful ways that you can use to get really hyped up and energized and motivated to do stuff, because you literally spend an entire day not doing stuff, just kind of like sitting around and relaxing. Yes, Daniel, you're 100% correct. It does. It's a very powerful anchor and trigger to attack your tasks with a lot of intensity, because your every day after the Sabbath, you have a set deadline, because you have a set deadline to get work done, because you know that. And by the way, if you don't know the Sabbath, it's essentially the Jewish practice, although it doesn't necessarily need to be Jewish, but it's the practice of not doing anything, like not doing work. It's where the weekend comes from, but it's supposed to be, the days are measured from sundown to sundown. So sundown on Friday to sundown on Saturday. During that 24-hour period, there's no work. Don't use electronics, and you just sit around, read, eat, spend time with family, and disconnect and rest. And it's so, oh, you can't do business either. It's so relaxing and refreshing. Oh, oh, the experience of it, I can only compare it to like, it's like trying to explain the flavor of like blueberry pie to somebody who's never even seen a blueberry, let alone tasted it. It is, as a dad, it's wonderful because I get the time to just rest, relax, and reconnect with my kid, to play with her. I get to spend time with my partner. We get to enjoy each other. I get to give her time to rest and relax because she took a really long nap. You took like a 3-hour nap, you know that? Yeah, it was a 3-hour nap. So you get to nap, you get to rest, relax. I get to enjoy my daughter, her doing like arts and crafts. I read her. Oh, babe, I read the freaking pigeon book. The pigeon roller coaster book. I read it to her.
Oh, okay.
I read her like 6 books.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta track those.
Also, we're gonna cross 1,000 then.
Oh yeah. So we definitely crossed
We're
1,000
getting
bucks.
down to a 5. So we're officially 995 because I haven't been that diligent about scanning.
Well, I just read her 6, so we're over 1,000
So
then.
yeah. Cool.
Oh, that's great. So that means that we crossed 1,000 books officially today. Yay! For her 3rd birthday. 1,000 books before kindergarten, 1,000 books before 3 years old. Yeah.
What an achievement. My goodness.
Yeah. So you can't put Post-its in the notebook that you're reading. You're not supposed to write. I did break this habit because I did make a video about it for the people in in my community. But it makes it. There's a profound psychological shift and change that happens from using the Sabbath. The other thing that's really cool about it is that you get to learn how to budget a little bit more, and then there's identity changes that happen because since you're not interacting with any electronics, you're not doing any business, and you're just like managing your individual relationships. The interesting thing that happens is that your day is indistinguishable from your day is indistinguishable regardless of what level of identity that you have. If you're a millionaire, your day is indistinguishable from when you were making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. So identity wise, if we're talking like manifestation and practicing being in the end state, the Sabbath is like low key a really powerful hack because the day is pretty much the same. You just sit around. You don't the things that would cause you to think that you're a millionaire don't come up at all. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
You're not looking at your bank account. You're not handling business that day. You're just enjoying your family. So if you want to start the process of trying on a new identity and trying on a new character, the Sabbath helps you do that. You get to practice it for basically like 2 days. You're like, yeah, this is who I am. Because there's nothing in your environment that'll contradict that thought process, which is really freaking cool. So I really do suggest that if people are working to manifest and like working on the law of attraction, one of the big low key hacks are actually like spiritual processes from like the Abrahamic religion. So that and then meditation, fasting, the Sabbath. You practice those, you'll be manifesting it in no time, no problem. Is the correct way to manifest a girl is to simply live as if somebody who already has the girl, or is it something else to do? So Bob, when you're working to manifest a person or being in a relationship, simple thing is that your I am is ultimately what ends up creating your experience, your feeling. Now, when people start the process, the thing that's difficult for them is that we go back to like the character thing I was talking about earlier in the live, which was character is revealed through relationship and conflict. Those two things, relationship and conflict. So when you start assuming a new identity, people will still assume that you are still the same because your old relationships will be the same and how you respond to conflict will be the same. So you're supposed to start the process of imagining new relationships, which will imply that you are the new wish fulfilled, or make or be confronted with conflict and acting differently when confronting with that conflict. Now, simplest thing to do that helps with manifesting what you want is literally just practice Neville Goddard's manifestation protocol for the state akin to sleep or SATs. Decide what you want, whatever it is that you desire, and craft a scene that implies the wish fulfilled, that implies that you are in this relationship. So if you have a person that you want to be with, craft a scene that implies that you're with this person. This could be you two laying down on a couch together, snuggling up in bed, going out on a date, maybe a movie date or something like that, whatever that happens to be. Construct something that lets you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm different because of my relationship with this person in my imagined scene. So you can see yourself laying in bed with this person, snuggling up together, or being at, let's say, a restaurant. We're at a restaurant, holding hands, enjoying each other, staring into each other's eyes intensely. And practice this as you're going to sleep. Practice it again and again. You close your eyes, see through your own eyes like you're there in that moment, which allows you to assume the identity or the state that I am in the relationship. Not that I will be in the relationship, not that it's going to come, but in this moment, right here and now, I am experiencing being in this relationship. And yes, this works if you don't even have history with the person. Although that does become a little bit more difficult, you want to have some history with the person because this does help make the process easier. By history, one of the things that you'll need in terms of manifesting to make things easier is you need some sort of memory. Memory is, it's so weird to talk about memory and imagination, because when you're doing imaginal acts, when you're crafting things in your imagination, you're crafting things based out of your memory. You only can really craft things in your memory. Like, people are they don't spend a lot of time crafting things that haven't existed before. That requires a lot of mental energy and a lot of thought to craft something that has not existed before. But what people actually do in imaginal acts is we basically like cobble together like a mosaic or a collage of all of these different like memory or sensory impressions into a scene, a Frankenstein scene. If you are crafting being with somebody, then you'll probably ended up putting it in a place where you had the sensory impressions of your living room, which means that you would have the sensory impression of the couch, the feeling of the couch, the smell of the room, the lighting, like how does the lighting feel on your eyes, the sound of, let's say, your AC unit or something like that. These things cause you to understand, like, okay, this is where I am. This is a physical place. I've been here. When you're working on manifesting a person, one thing that's really useful is being around the person, like hanging out with them, so that you're gaining sensory impressions that you can bring into your imaginal act. Like, how does this person look? Like, how are their mannerisms? Like, how does this person move? How do they talk? What's the sound of their voice? What's their cadence? What do they usually like to talk about? How does it feel when you hug them, or how do they smell? These are all sensory impressions that are unique for every individual person. Like Bebe over there, there's a specific way that she feels when I hug her. And there's a specific way that I know from hugging her that she likes to be hugged. You like when I cradle your little head, right? They can't see you nod.
Oh, yes.
Yes. She was nodding. So the sensory impressions do not have to imply the relationship. You just need the sensory impressions that you can bring into the imaginal act and imply a new relationship with this person. Because ultimately, you don't want to manifest somebody that you've never had any experience with. You'll want to manifest a new version of them and yourself, a new relationship between you and this person, but you already know the character and like how this person looks and how they interact, and then you could bring that into your imaginal act. How would you manifest with a girl from your work? Hang out with her, dude. I want to manifest a girl from my work. We really don't have history or anything, but I want to be in a relationship. How would I make that happen? Hang out with her, dude. Do stuff and then invite her. Hey, yo, on this weekend, I'm gonna go to a rock climbing thing, or I'm going to a painting class. Would you want to come? Like, invite her out and experience what it's like being around her in another place outside of work. If you work with her, another thing that you could do is just spend time with her and talk with her, like interact. You can't just manifest something. Well, you can. It's not required for you to, but you can manifest smaller things to get closer to them and connect with them. Like with Stephanie, one thing that happened was like the first time that we met at the same building because we worked at the same business building. Worked at the same co-working space. She worked in the floor below me in another office, and we bumped into each other at the front desk. And one of the people at the front desk, Christine, hey Christine, she introduced the two of us, and she actually hated me the first time we talked. Because she thought I was talking about her butt. I wasn't talking about her butt. The first thing I said to her, because I usually look at people and like pay attention to them and comment on something to break the ice and have a conversation. But I looked at her and I noticed her pants were interesting. So I said, hey, nice pants. Now, we're standing right in front of each other face to face. So I'm looking at her full front on. And I just, the design of the pants were interesting. She thought I was complimenting her, I was talking about her butt. She was like, oh, I can't believe this guy would do that to my face. I'm like, I didn't even see your butt. You were facing me straight on. I didn't see anything. But I saw her and I was intrigued. She looked very beautiful. Very interesting. I was like, ooh, and her name is Stephanie. I want to get to know this girl a little bit more. I was intrigued. I wanted to know more about her.
It was a sign because
yes, because of your name, 100%.
I don't think they know that.
Oh well, yeah, the Stephanie name. I knew that her name was a sign because I dated 2 other Stephanies, and I knew I was going to end up with a Stephanie. And when I saw this beautiful girl standing in front of me, and I heard Christine say her name, and I was like, "Uh-oh, this is the Stephanie of legend that I've been waiting to manifest? Oh, the prophecy of Stephanie. Is this my Stephanie?" And I was intrigued. I wanted to know more about her. So to be honest, this is what people do when you're like in the phase of attracting a partner, because people don't really think about this, but like once you find somebody that you're interested in, that you look at and you're like, I think I kind of want to be around you. You start fantasizing and thinking about that person. Like low key, you're manifesting. You probably imagine, oh man, I really want to talk to him or her. I want to talk to him or her. Because I remember when I was going through the process, I was thinking about, I went home and I was like, oh, man, I really want to bump into her again. I want to see her. She was so cute. I wanted to spend some more time talking to her. I would love to get to know her a little bit more. And I kept fantasizing and thinking about her. She would pop up in my mind. It wasn't all the time. It wasn't like an all-consuming thing. But like I was thinking about it. Sure enough, I'm thinking about her, imagining her. I'm like, oh man, I really want to bump into her. I want to bump into her. One day, I'm driving into the garage to go park my car. And as I'm driving in the garage, guess who I see walking towards the elevator in the garage? Guess who it was, babe?
Christine from the front desk?
No, it wasn't Christine from the front desk. It was a
No,
little
I know,
cutie pie.
No,
It was a cutie pie. I was like, oh, shoot, I gotta find parking. So I drive super fast. I find parking. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's there. I gotta get there before the elevator closes. So I park the car, I start going, running. I gotta get to the elevator before, and I get to the elevator. I'm like trying to play off like I'm not everything. I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey, and sure enough, I look at her to say something, and she is wearing another interesting pair of pants.
Yep.
This pair of pants happened to have Japanese on it. Was it Japanese?
Yeah.
It was Japanese, and it said, what did it say? Fighting?
Fist. And it was like.
It said fist in Japanese?
No, it didn't say fist. It had a fist on it.
It had a fist on it and what? Because it said something else besides the Japanese.
It had the logo for Vega, so like the skull with the wings, and then it had like Japanese stuff probably for Ryu.
And then it said something. It was something related to fighting too on top of that, because I know it had Vega for Street Fighter. So they were interesting pants, and I thought it was from. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And it looked they were black pants with white Japanese writing on it. And I'm like, oh, these look like pants from like a cool little dojo thing or something related to fighting. I was like, oh, do you do martial arts? And little did I know, I hit her. You know when you deal with NPCs and you hit the right dialogue option? Boy, did I hit the right dialogue option with her.
Well, wait, you remember, you gotta say that you like my pants, and then I made a comment.
Oh, I said, yeah, I like your pants. And then what was your comment? I like your pants. What was your comment that you said?
Do you always make a comment about people's pants?
Do you always make a comment about people's pants? I'm like, nope. Just when they're interesting. And you mentioned like, yeah, I do martial arts, but these are from Street Fighter. These are Street Fighter pants. You know, I compete.
Tournament?
I compete in fighting game tournaments. I'm part of the FGC.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. You know, I didn't know, and it was true because I was actually genuinely curious. I was like, oh, I didn't know that they did fighting game tournaments around here. Where do they do them? You're like, oh, this place called Arcade Odyssey. Yeah, this place called Arcade Odyssey. It's in where is it in?
Sunset.
It's in
South Kendall.
It's in South Kendall. I was like, oh, when's the next? And I'm like, here's my end. When's the next tournament? When's the next thing? Maybe I'll come by and hang out with you. You're like, all right, okay. And then you left on your floor, and I was like, yes, started the process, baby. Yeah, it was cute. Okay, meow, meow, meow. You're a little kitty cat? So people, whether they know it or not, manifest people showing back up because they're just visualizing and fantasizing about talking and connecting with this person. And that got me that second meet. The third time was the third time when I met you when you were on my floor for lunch, or was that when you were
Or was it after work?
At the after work, it was one of the two.
That's a good one. That's a really good question.
Which one did you do first?
I think I saw you after work first.
I think it actually might have been you on my floor first.
Okay.
Because I didn't know you were on my floor, and I could tell that you liked me.
Oh.
Because you hit me with the how old are you? And I'm like, hook, line, and sinker. Actually, no, you might be right. You might be right. The hanging out and talking together might have happened first before we bumped into each other. Yeah, that seems like it fits a little bit more because I wasn't 100% sure, but I was like, yeah, I need to sit down and I need to talk to her. And sure enough, I thought about seeing her again, thought about hanging out, and now I'm thinking about all the things that we talked about and hanging out and playing video games with her. I'm like, oh, she likes video games and all this stuff. And then we bumped into each other at the mixer. Oh man, that was a good one because I was with my team. I had my team and I was gonna drive somebody home. 2 people home. I was gonna drive them home, and I told them I walked out of the office and they were doing the mixer, just like was a Friday mixer or something like that. They were having drinks and all this stuff and like little food. And sure enough, I see Lil Miss Cutie Pie sitting on one of the bar stools, hanging out there. And then I turn to my team. I tell Lachey, I'm like, hey, here, take my keys. Go hang out at the car. I'm gonna be a minute. And I went to sit down and sit and talk to a little somebody, and we started mixing and mingling, and I realized that I didn't get your number or anything like that yet. And then you're like, I'm kind of famous. I'm like, okay. And then you took my phone, you went on my Instagram, and followed yourself on my Instagram. I was like, all right, hey, I like that. I'm like, that's what I want. I'm gonna be able to contact and connect. I was like, yeah, we'll talk. And I think I messaged you something, and you ignored me. Yeah, don't be cool like that. That wasn't cool.
I didn't know that you were gonna use that to make kids.
Yet, you didn't know that yet. Little did you know. Yeah, I messaged you. I forgot what I messaged you. But it was on IG, so I know if I scroll all the way through, I can find it.
That's like almost 8 years.
That's 8 years of scrolling. Yeah. But I said something, I was like, dang, man, left me on red. And then you ended up showing up. I was like, I want to see her again. All this stuff. And then we ended up bumping into each other. When you were on my floor during your lunch break. Then we started sitting there talking, and sure enough, I was like, I wasn't sure if she might have been into me and not. We were talking. I could tell there's a little bit of flirty energy there. But then she hit me with the question, and I was like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm like, I know it, hook, line, and sinker. She asked me, so how old are you? I'm like, ha ha! Hey yo! I'm like, ha ha! I'm like, you played your hand. I already know. The game has been won. Oh. And I think that's kind of like why it's fun to manifest and to do things in parts and pieces, because like you get to have fun little stories like that, and it's an interesting experience to get to know somebody and to experience more and more of them. Once she said that, I knew it was a wrap, and I'm like, challenge accepted. I'm like, you interested, girl? I'm like, the game is on. The game is afoot.
No, this.
The moment you said that, I was just like, you might as well just lean in for the kiss already. Yeah, I got you with the interesting pants. So yeah, don't worry about how somebody feels about you the first time you guys meet, because like, oh man, yeah.
That's the worst first impression anyone has ever made on me, ever.
Worst first impression to now she is swiffering the floor of our house while our little baby runs around in her short and her diaper.
Look, one spider.
A little spider?
Yeah, a little spider.
A little spider?
Yeah, no.
Nah, I wasn't unk. I was only in my like early 20s. I was like, when she asked me how old I was, I told her I was turning 23. I wasn't even 23. I was turning 23. She was like, oh.
And I was like, no more younger guys.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what people say as their rules. No more younger guys or any of this stuff. I'm like, no more younger guys. Yeah. I love you.
Oh, baby. You're so cute.
Nah, she didn't think I was unk status. She thought I was younger.
Yeah, no, hell no.
And
He
she
was
knew
a
it.
baby. He had short hair.
Oh yeah, I didn't have the long hair.
Didn't have
the beard.
His eyes were like bright. You know. He had that youthful energy.
My eyes were bright.
He had that youthful energy.
Oh.
He had that youth about him.
I had that youth. You were like, he's got a little too much pep in his step. How old are you, young buck?
That's right. I was like,
No, Sophia.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, my.
Mm.
Okay. Have you bought this one? Have you bought this one?
all right, young man. All right.
Yes, her rule. That's actually really good. I like that. Daniel said her rules are to prevent her from meeting the wrong person before you turn up. That's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot, Daniel.
Yeah, there's the other younger guys.
Yeah, that is the attitude. The funny thing is, the attitude is what makes it right. The attitude is the thing that makes it true. Whether it's right or wrong doesn't matter. The attitude that makes it right. The attitude is what makes it right. Because that was my attitude. It didn't matter what the answer was. I was just like, oh, girl. Psst. From that point on, I was like, oh, now I'm vetting you. I'm like, do I want you? Because I'm like, I know you want me. As soon as I got that question, I'm like, let's do it. Let's play the game. I know this game.
Come play with me, cause it's so one and two.
And now we have a little version of us running around the house.
Teeny.
Noni, teeny.
Teeny.
Mm-hmm.
No, teeny.
No, teeny. Yeah. So spend some time like around your person, because if you want to date somebody or you want to manifest them, specifically when people say manifest, what we're saying is you want to manifest a shift or transformation in your relationship where you move from the state of being strangers or coworkers into the relationship where you are now boyfriend and girlfriend or anything else like that. Spend some time with them. Like, find out if they actually are somebody that you want. Because it's one thing to look at somebody and think they're like, oh, you look interesting and all that stuff. It's another thing to vet them as like a good partner. Because there are tons of people who look good where they are not a good fit for you two to be together. Like, your lifestyles and desires and things that you want may be completely different. Better to find that out in the talking conversational phase than when you're down the road in a long-term relationship. Yeah. So get some memory. Get some memory of you being in with this person. How do they feel? How do they smell? Don't be creepy about trying to find this stuff out. Like, just give them a hug. Become friends. And then realize, like, oh, do I actually want to be around this person? And once you make that decision, then you do the imaginal act, which is you creating the transformation or changing yourself where you are now in the state or the identity that you are in the relationship with them. You are no longer your name single person. You are now Bob. You're not Bob single person. You're Bob boyfriend. And you're experienced Bob the state boyfriend by imagining being with this person and hanging out and feeling that passion or connection or whatever emotion or thing that you want to feel with being with this person. And if you hold that long enough, the other person will pick up on that change, and they will change how they relate to you because they will feel differently around you. Because ultimately, that's the reason why relationships progress, is because people feel differently. Stephanie felt angry at me when she first met me, very angry. But I hung around her enough where she felt the different energy, and I was like, yeah, you're my girlfriend.
What, sweetie?
And here we are.
You want me to sweep up the spider?
Yeah, sweep up the spider.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we gotta put the little one to bed now.
Huh?
So gotta put the little one to bed now.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, any other questions, comments, observations on any of that stuff? Do you guys have any other comments on like manifesting people? Sandy Lee Jones, writer. Can you allow your higher self to choose the person for yourself, husband, a universal matchmaker, rather than choosing with your human self? A lot of the times, yeah, that actually is the best case, is just to leave things up. Because what you can do, and you do this as a writer too, you don't have to select the person, you do have to select the personality. So you should take the time to write down the type of partner that you want. So you get very clear on the role or the character that you want the person that you're going to be with to have. So like, write down, how do you want to interact with this person? What do you want, like, what are the qualities or values that are important to you? Do you want this person to value home, cooking, raising a family? Do you want them to value their career? Do you want them to be ambitious? Do you want them to be loving, passionate? Or do you want them to be, conservative? Do you want them to be somebody who loves doing parties and being social? Or do you want them to be somebody who's a homebody, who likes playing video games? Like, what are the things that matter to you, and what do you care about? Like, write down those qualities and things that you desire. Be very, very specific about how you want them to be and how you want to feel and how you want to show up in your relationship. Do you want them to be somebody that's healthy? That works out, or do you not want to? Do not want a health nut? Do you want somebody who indulges in yummy junk food with you? Get very specific on what you desire and what you want, and then you leave it up to the universe to bring you the person that is the match to that desire. But you basically like casting for a role in a movie. When you cast for a role in a movie, you write the character. You know exactly who the character is. You know what's going to happen in the movie, and then the casting director interviews and does auditions with all of these actors to find the person that's the right fit for the freaking character. And you evaluate. You allow the universe to bring you all the actors, and then you decide who is the right fit. What's up, Stefan? You decide who the right fit is. But you decide who the right fit is by who gets attracted into your experience. But only after you've made it very clear on who you want to be in a relationship with. So be very clear on who you want to be in a relationship with, as in the qualities that are important to you, the character, the role, just like a screenwriter writes the character of a story without having to focus on like the physical aspects. Although you can write down physical qualities or physical attributes that you would like your partner to have. And by doing that, you leave it up to the universe to bring you the best fit, who's like the best person for the role. And you're evaluating people based on the qualities that are important to you and whether or not they fit, instead of evaluating people just on like how they look, which is a sad reality of like how most people like choose and decide their relationships. Life's good, Steph. Life's real good. We just found out that we're going to be having our next little one, so super exciting. So making sure that mommy has all the support. So we've been doing like meal prep. So going to like this place to pick up meals that are already done, so it's much easier. So mommy doesn't have to cook. And giving her time to rest and relax, because first trimester is a pain in the butt. So it's fun. But we're having a really good time. We're really enjoying ourselves. I'm glad to be back to be making videos. Because this is what I love doing. You're welcome, Sandy Lee. Sandy Lee Jones. Yeah, that was a really good question, Sandy. So, let the universe be the matchmaker, but you define the qualities that you want to filter. Oh, that's a good question. Tell me more about how you manifest more money on SP, like new stuff you found out. So, new stuff that I found out regarding manifesting money. I knew this, but I don't think I talked to you guys about it before. And it's about EFG. Hey, can you take that to the room, Mama? Take it to the room. INZ. My ABCs. I love watching her dance. All right, go to mommy. Go dance with mommy.
Take a bedtime book. We're gonna go take a shower.
Oh, get a book. Go take a book to mommy. No. What do you mean? You love a book. Oh, she got a book. Okay.
Unless you can try to practice again.
Tippy toes. That's an interesting one. I haven't heard that remix before. Okay. So new thing that I learned regarding manifesting money.
Look, the spider's here. Look.
And this actually has to relate back to identity and energy. So making money is the act of transmitting energy to other people. And if you want to make more money, it's the act of transmitting or facilitating more energy for someone else. And there are a couple of different methods of leverage that people can use. And those core methods of leverage that Neville, who's a billionaire, really big guy in Silicon Valley, awesome guy on X, great philosopher when it comes to explaining like making money, but there are 4 methods of leverage that you can use to transmit more value and more energy without necessarily using more effort. And that's why leverage is so important. Leverage allows you to provide more value and energy to the world without using as much effort. With smaller amount of mama. When you use leverage, it allows you to create a bigger it allows you to create a bigger change and a bigger transformation with less effort. So, 4 levers of creating value and transmitting energy. There is labor, capital, code, and media. Those are the 4 levers that people can use. Labor is one of the oldest ones, and that's where we get old forms of power, which is like kings. People would have labor, would have physical men who would be able to go out.
Open the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quickly, very quickly, like the little mouse. Be free.
Kings would have labor. Kings would have people who would do their bidding. And that's why kings were powerful. They would make a decree, they would say something, and other people would follow their orders. You would follow the orders and decrees of the king. So the kings were able to leverage labor or the usage of other people's work to provide or to produce more value. And this is what people do in the labor markets, which honestly is even more powerful now. And people have access to this by using overseas labor. Because overseas labor, we have the difference in cost of living and in exchange rates between currencies. So every person who's on this live probably has excess money that they could use to purchase really affordable labor overseas and to get work done. So that's one form of leverage that people can use to make more money. Is instead of doing things yourself, you will never be able to outwork multiple people. So if you're doing some sort of work and you leverage other people's labor, it's an easy way for you to make more money. Now, I don't necessarily recommend this to a lot of people because you don't necessarily need to do this. Then comes capital, which is where you have access to cash. When you have access to cash, cash is something that you can leverage. You can use cash to get access to loans. You can use cash to get access to preferential terms. Like if you have more cash on hand, you can end up paying for things in full and get better terms when you do that. Like when you're signing up for software, instead of paying monthly, you can pay, if you have more cash available on hand, you could pay for the year and then have to pay less. You can also use it to get into investments or business credit, all these other things. So capital is another one that is another form of leverage that a lot of people use. Outside of that, the 2 that people do have access to are code and media or content. Code and content would be the 2. So the one I'm going to talk to you guys about that's really great is no matter what you're doing, if you leverage media or content, you can greatly expand your reach and make more money easier. One of the things that I'm doing here is I'm in the process of creating media. You are sitting here watching me make a video. I'm talking to you directly, but I'm not doing it one-to-one. Right now, there are about like 9 people on the video. Well, now 7. I was like mentioning it. 2 people like, damn, fuck this. But throughout the course of a live, usually in an hour, I might have anywhere between like freaking like 100, 300, maybe 500 people. So through the act of talking like this and having a video, I'm creating media and content. I haven't posted a video since, I was going to say January, since February. I haven't been super consistent when it comes to creating videos. But you know what? Every single freaking day, I have hundreds of views on my videos. And the more I consistently post, I get up to thousands. And this is only for this main channel. I do have another channel, and that one gets like thousands of views a day. Thousands, like 2,000 to 7,000 views a day. But because I've created content, I now have leverage, where people can have and build a relationship with me and understand how my mind works and to use what I've taught or what I've packaged to get results in their lives. And because of that, I can reach many people without having to do much work. Like, since the beginning of this year, I've focused a lot on my family. I've spent a lot of time with taking care of my family, and that's where a lot of my energy is gone, is just being around Stephanie, taking care of the baby, moving into the new place, getting things situated here. And then, of course, helping and working with my one-to-one coaching clients, and then my marketing clients that I have, and putting my energy into there. But my content still works. Like, the videos, the unhinged videos, still gets views every single day. Like, I'm out here on live with all of you here, but there are people who are watching that video right now, or other videos that I've had. Like, Stephanie mentioned something that was really interesting earlier today, was that her mom told her that one of the family friends, we went out to their birthday. I mentioned that I had the YouTube channel and stuff like that, and he went to go check on Stephanie's grandmother, and while he was there, he mentioned, like, oh, I watched all of Ryan's videos, like all of them, and that's hours worth of content. I think I probably have, like, maybe altogether, out of all the videos, I probably have, like, maybe 9 to 13 hours worth of content, probably more. I need to double check, like, what the numbers are, but, like, I have a lot of videos. I have a lot of content on the channel. That means he's consumed a lot. I haven't talked to him since the birthday party, which was weeks ago, but he's consumed my stuff, and the relationship between us has continued to develop regardless of me being conscious of any of that. All of you who are here on this video, you're watching this video right now. You probably already have watched my other videos, or you may end up going to my channel and watch the other videos on manifesting money, manifesting relationships, how to become more attractive, to attract your ideal person, how to, why most people struggle with doubt, whatever that happens to be. If you go and you consume that content, I'm building a relationship with you. There's always a certain percentage of people who will consume the content, who will want more, who will want one-to-one work, who will want to buy products, who will want to buy books. And this is what online businesses are built on. They're built on getting access to people who have a problem and then presenting solutions to them. Hell, even by having the videos themselves, I get paid for them because I have AdSense turned on. So I get paid from people just interacting with my stuff. So if you're in the process and you make a decision that you want to make more money, the smartest thing to do for you to make more money is to use one of the forms of leverage to ensure that you're providing more value for more people. Over the past 90 days, even though I haven't been consistent in posting, I checked out on my audience tab to see, like, the number of unique viewers who've watched my content. It's been over 11,000. Over 11,000, and 3,700 people have come back consuming more of my content. That's my audience. And again, when it comes in terms of, like, work and effort, I haven't put a lot into it. But I reach a lot of people, and because I reach a lot of people, some people decide that they want more help. They book sessions with me, and I have coaching available. Whether people want to book one-to-one sessions, I have that available. People want to join the community. The community is something that's available. I'm working on that. People get to have access to me with the live Q&As. I have a whole bunch of different ways for people to interact with me, and that allows me to make more money with less effort. And the more I do it, the more over time, the easier it's going to become. The more videos that I put out, the more content that I create, the easier it is to create relationships, and the easier it is to get people to go through the process and to buy something. And if you're somebody who's creating any sort of content, content is probably one of the if you're somebody who's creating content, you have the ability to tap into the quickest way to leverage and create wealth in the world. And I think I was writing about this earlier today. I think that's actually one of the secret reasons why they wanted to get rid of TikTok, because TikTok economically is a problem. It's a platform that gives people the ability to lower the barrier of entry to creating content that reaches a wide audience. Like any person here in this live right now, you can go and you can create live videos. And the way that TikTok is set up between TikTok, the creator, the creator fund, and TikTok's shops, any one of you can get on TikTok, start creating content, and start making money. And there are normal, everyday people that start producing content on TikTok and immediately can start making $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. Some people are making over $100,000 a month posting content on TikTok. There are little teenagers who are making $5,000 to $20,000 a month posting content on TikTok. And the reason why they're able to do that is because content gives you access to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people at any given time. And it continues to work long after you've posted it. My videos that I posted back in August still get views. They still work for me. Just like the leverage of using labor, when you stop working, if you have laborers, you have contracted people who work for you as laborers, they will continue to work. You will continue to produce value, which means that you'll continue to make money without having to do anything. Content allows you to do that by just leveraging yourself and just posting something online. The videos are versions of me that continue working 24/7. 24/7. There are people who watch me all across the world, people who've signed up to work with me, who lived in like Ireland, Germany, Belgium, Canada, California, Mexico, all over the place. And I don't know what time they watched me. Sandy Lee's over in Australia. Thank you. So that's a perfect example. That's a perfect point there. So by leveraging content, you disconnect yourself from the local economy. I don't have to leave my house. I made tens of thousands of dollars, and I didn't really leave my house. I stayed home. I met people all around the world because I posted content, and my content was pushed out and started building a relationship, and people believed that, hey, they were stuck and they needed help, and they reached out, and I was able to help them out. So if you want to make more money, use one of the 4 forms of leverage. Easiest one and the most powerful one for most people to use is content. Just post something. Just post content. Even if you don't know what you're going to end up selling, just start the process of posting something, because you're becoming a creator and a contributor, which is very different from 99.9% of people on the planet who are all consumers of content. Code. Thank you. See, somebody's paying attention. Sandy hit the other one. So I told you guys about I told you guys about labor, capital, and content or media. Then the last one is code. Code is a form of leverage because code allows you to get work done without using human labor. So right now, the reason why I'm able to reach all you guys with video and live is because of code. Somebody coded, like there were programmers who coded the visual codecs for like the live stream, the commenting function was coded on there. All of these things were created. Once code is written, because code is a very specific type of media. Once code is written, code can produce results again and again. It's a line of language that is able to produce a specific change, like with digital data. So if you create code, code can be used to leverage and duplicate efforts over a long period of time. So the beauty of code or doing something like creating a software or a SaaS company is that once it's created, you don't have to keep creating it. It's already done. So the things that you would do manually can be scaled infinitely. So that's why people who own SaaS companies, like those are software as a service, they're able to scale their companies really quickly and really fast. They can go from their first 100 users to their first 1,000 to their first 10,000 to the first 100,000 very quickly, because the work that's being done, or the service or value that's created, is not created by an individual who's manually doing things. The value is created by the actual software itself, by the code itself. So that's why code is such a powerful thing. That's why we have dating apps. Dating apps basically replace the service of matchmakers. Matchmakers, or like going out, like the difficult thing, the physical thing would be to go up and talk to people. People don't want to go up and talk to random people. Like, they don't want to do cold approach. They don't want to talk to random people because they have that fear of approaching somebody new. They probably don't hang out with their friends a lot, so there's not a lot of like meeting through mutual friends. It's not happening super fast. That's usually not a big thing. Or people don't want to go to the clubs and all that stuff. So what did programmers do? Programmers decided, okay, we're going to take code and we're going to do the matchmaking process. People will come on the platform. We're going to code and create and design these profiles for people. And now you will be able to go through these people's profiles, and they're all interested in finding someone else, whether that's a partner or, whatever else. And now the matchmaking process is automated using code. You have all of these profiles that are filtered according to the algorithm, filtered according to your preferences, which are all coded together, and then you just swipe, which is an interesting experience. It's an enjoyable experience where people just go, swipe, okay, I'm interested, not interested, interested, not interested. And then you're connected with these people via code. Now you are able to message them when you match. You're able to message each other on the app and see if you're interested and you want to connect. And from there, you end up meeting up and hanging out together. That's one instance of using code as a form of leverage. And once Tinder, the website, the base code was created, they just needed people on the platform. After that point, it was pretty much marketing. Yes, software companies will continue to iterate and improve the code by adding new features and adding new things and getting rid of bugs. But that process is not as intense as creating like the big core features. And that's why like apps like Tinder and Bumble are able to connect millions of people within a matter of seconds, because it's all being handled by code, by the algorithm. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube is a lot of people don't want to search up content, so YouTube just use the algorithm to serve you content according to what you like. So YouTube's algorithm is code that filters all of the videos that are available and pulls the videos that are closely related to your watch history and to your specific likes, like what you enjoy and what you like connect with. And that's why the most powerful coding software there is right now is AI, like ChatGPT and stuff like that, because those forms of AI now have increased and improved people's ability to create their own code using natural language. So you don't even need to learn the coding software. You can actually code and create things by explaining things in natural, regular language and get code created with AI software. But you do have to understand like the principles of coding to get that to work right. That's one thing that I've noticed with AI. If you don't know how to code, you're gonna struggle, because you won't understand how to properly explain something, or you won't understand how to troubleshoot code when it isn't working. But the most powerful form of code is, again, AI software, because AI software now allows you to, number one, create code yourself, so you can leverage code. You can use AI to help you in the process of creating content, which is freaking phenomenal, because now you can use it to help you with creating ads. You can help it to create articles, to video scripts, all of these other things. So it's much easier for you to go through the process of making content. So content and code is much easier with AI. And then it doesn't necessarily make more capital available to people unless you're using it to figure out how to improve your credit score, which you can do, and how to get business credit, which you also can do, but most people don't know that because you need specialized knowledge for those things. The other one that's interesting with that is that you can use AI for automated labor with AI agents. So ChatGPT operator is very interesting, and AI agents are very interesting because you could literally explain how to do a task, and the AI can go through the process of navigating the internet and doing those tasks for you. So we're moving into a space where code is now beginning to leverage or impinge on the labor market, leveraging there. So that's some super interesting stuff. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out over the next few years. But if you're deciding that you want to make more money, decide what market you want to serve. Who you want to help, and then start using the forms of leverage. Start creating content for that group of people so that you're able to reach them and sell them something, whether it's your thing or you become an affiliate for something that's related to what these people want. Start putting it out there. Or you decide that you want to solve a problem and code something. I know somebody who might be watching this who likes to code and create things. Code something or create something that solves a problem for you and other people. It makes it easier. Or get labor. Do YouTube automation. Start hiring teams overseas to start doing different parts of the process so that you're able to automate using capital and just pay them to create videos and create content for you, and then you post it and you make your money on the margin, which is what people do with YouTube automation, although it can be done really well because they're just micro studios, to be honest. Great reminder how easy it is to leverage and increase our value. Code is also having your own website with downloadable content with traffic coming from YouTube and other socials. Yes, that is correct, Sandy. Yes. Code is also using stuff like websites because websites are code. You're able to automate the delivery of content, which, again, that's media. You automate the delivery of content because if somebody goes to your website, buys something, and you just send them the video course or a book or an audio book, you don't have to do anything in the surfacing of it because the creation of the thing is already done it. So you use a website like Shopify or something like that to deliver the value to somebody, to deliver value to a person. So it's a cool thing that we do there with code. You either use code to create something new or you leverage code in the form of platforms to get you your specific result. Like right now I'm leveraging the code of YouTube to create my content easier and to distribute it out to all of you lovely people. So that's something that I learned new, Stefan, that I wanted to share with you guys, is if you want to make more money, understand the 4 levers and then start implementing the levers in the way that you produce value. And if you're working a job, find a way to use one of the levers. Because if you're working a job, hell, people might be like, oh, I'm working a 9 to 5. How do I do that? There was literally a dude on IG who worked as a freaking human resources. He worked in human resources as a resources analyst, something like that. It was something really, really boring. And his whole thing was literally just creating content about his job, about him going into work and living a monotonous 9 to 5 life, going in and just being putting his laptop in his bag and zipping it up and going to work and then coming home, hanging out with the dog and all that stuff and drinking coffee and then eating his lunch that he warmed up in the lunchroom of his office and being in his cubicle. That was literally his content was his job, his lifestyle. He wasn't talking about going off and selling courses and all that stuff. Nah, the dude literally just created freaking content about his 9 to 5 job. And recently he quit because things were changing with him creating content. Because the fact of the matter is, when you're creating content, either you're going to monetize it yourself or you will get paid by other people wanting to monetize and get in front of your audience, which is what YouTube pays people for. YouTube pays Mr. Beast because advertisers want to get in front of his videos because of the people that he's reaching. Advertisers do not want to go through the process of trying to figure out how to please people with content. They would much rather just pay for access to audience. And the way they pay for access to audience is because content creators make things that people are interested in, that they actually want to come to the platforms for. And then the advertisers pay for the advertising space. So the YouTubers or the content creators get paid from advertisers who don't want to go through the process of figuring out how to please people. So just start creating content. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Doesn't need to be good or bad. Doesn't even need to be good. Just make it. My first couple videos were not the best. I remember when I first started my marketing business, like the first thing I did was I just did a 30-day challenge of just doing a video a day. Was every video good? No. Did it matter? No. The thing that mattered was that I was creating content. And the people that I didn't even think about were watching and consuming my content. And they were beginning to know, like, and trust me when it came to marketing. I'm here talking to you guys about manifesting, about getting relationships, about making more money. Why? Because I love this stuff. And I know by creating content, over time, a certain number of people are going to want extra help. Some people are going to want courses. Some people are going to want to buy books. I might throw an event, invite y'all to come and hang out with me. I do coaching. I do one-to-ones. You want help with the letting go of stuff or manifesting somebody back? Go. If you want, book a one-to-one. And if you don't, fine. Just keep watching videos. I'm fine either way. It doesn't matter because literally it's content. So consume as much as you want. That's the secret to making more money. It's just giving more value to people. And content, code, capital, and labor allows you to do it beyond your body and beyond your own effort. And when you use leverage, you can use less effort to make a bigger impact. And oh my gosh, if you use leverage and then put more energy into it, oh my gosh, you can take over the world. You can honestly take over the world. Like Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat caused a freaking riot. Young black guy in his 20s mobilized and got people out. And there were so many people in the streets of New York that they caused a riot and cops had to be called. All because this guy sits in front of a camera and streams. And he's interesting and he's funny. And he invites other people to come on board. He lives in a house with other content creators and he has funny moments and invites celebrities to his place and they have all these experiences and the whole reason why this guy has influence and power at all is because he leverages content. He creates long form content and then people cut it down into clips and they watch it in shorts. I don't think I've ever watched a full Kai Cenat short, but I am talking about Kai Cenat right now. And I know about Kai Cenat because I've consumed content about him or from him. I've consumed shorts. I've consumed videos where people have talked about Kai Cenat. And if you know who I'm talking about, the only reason why you know what I'm talking about is because you've consumed content related to him in some way, shape, or form. And none of us have ever met the guy in person. That right there alone should let you know the power of content and the power of leverage. Any other questions, comments, observations? Because I think my phone's about to die. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's about to die. Oh, it's like 1%. Okay, standing next to you. Okay. Last minute questions, because we about to die.
Come here, baby. Watch your language.
Oh, the language, yeah. Thank you. The phone is about to be out of charge. I gotta be more mindful of language. I always do that to her. She loves when she gets the opportunity to do that to me. Because I'm like, hey, watch what you just said. She loves getting the chance to do that. Oh, hey. Ba-bomb. All right, we're not done that yet. We made it. Any last minute questions before we wrap up? Those are good questions, Sandy. And Stefan, both of you, very good questions. I always love really good questions. Always end up talking about more than I initially expected for any of these lives, which is always fun. I need to upgrade my Wi-Fi router. It's got a gig of internet, but I need to have a strong enough router to do it so I can do these lives properly. Excuse me. All right, well, that's it. Love you guys. Hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful rest of your week. I'll be posting some more videos in the next couple of days, so keep an eye out. Have a great night, Sandy. Enjoy your day out there in Australia. Everybody else, enjoy your day. No, don't worry. People always jump in and have questions later on. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Sandy. All right. Bye, everybody. Enjoy.